See what the latest information we have on that. So as of this evening, this is a later show than I normally do, but the total number of cases in Massachusetts is now up to 4,257 cases. In Norfolk County alone, there are 490 cases, which is almost 1,000 cases more than what we had yesterday. So we are, rather 100 cases more than we had yesterday. So we are actually doubling our numbers every 3 days, which is pretty much what we expected to see happen. And it's important to note now that there was over 29,000 tests issued during the past few days, during this past week, I should say. So because that obviously is causing a lot of reason why we're seeing more and more positive cases come out. Now, under the total number of cases of the number of 4,257, 8.2% of those cases, or 350 cases, are actually hospitalized. 1,200 cases are not hospitalized, and the remaining amount is still under investigation to determine how those cases are going to be handled. So let's break down the numbers by the numbers in terms of age category. Under the age of 19, there are 83 cases statewide. In the age bracket of 20 to 29, there are 723. From the age bracket of 30 to 39, there are 752. And from the age bracket of 40 to 49, the number is 690 cases. And the biggest case load right now is in the area of 50 to 59. And it's in that number is 812 cases as of today. From the age bracket of 60 to 69, there are 588 cases, and for age 70 and older, there are 602 cases statewide. So we have, as of earlier today, I know that the president declared Massachusetts as a disaster area, a federal disaster area. So therefore, that makes us eligible for federal aid going forward to help try and mitigate some of the impact of what's going on statewide. There are over 44 deaths in Massachusetts as of today, so we're keeping a close eye on that situation, obviously. And in Foxboro alone, there are no deaths, but thank God for that. But there are about 10 cases in Foxboro right now, and 2 cases have recovered for a net of about 8. So we're going to keep a close eye on that situation, and we may see that number tick up this next week. I'm talking with the fire chief and a deputy fire chief. And the public nurse, they indicate that number will tick up rather dramatically this upcoming week. So we'll have to keep a close eye on how things go. I'll continue to provide you with updates on how that situation emerges. So there are 197 cases, 197 states of emergency declared statewide. Again, Foxboro being one of those. Let me talk to you a little bit about some of the other updates to report. The CARES Act, the COVID-19 stimulus package, was approved yesterday by both the House and the President. The President signed the package last night. So about $2 trillion package, the biggest package in the history of the United States, has been approved for distribution throughout the country to try and assist throughout this pandemic period. One item from the Act is related to unemployment. Pandemic unemployment assistance will follow the model of a disaster unemployment assistance. So, and you'll be hearing from that. You'll be getting checks. Those eligible are receiving checks in the mail from the federal government. That, I'm told it'll be 2 to 3 weeks before we see those checks. There is one thing we want to make everybody aware of, and that is the Mass Division of Marine Fisheries has become aware of a fabricated Facebook post coming from DMF stating that fishing is closed in the state due to COVID-19. That information is incorrect and false. So fishing is still available for anyone who would like to do it, and as long as you maintain, of course, the proper social distancing, along with any other type of activity that you'd like to take part in today and the next few days. Next day looks like it's going to be raining. It started raining late this afternoon, and so tomorrow will be pretty much an inside day for most folks. It was a great day earlier today. I was out in the yard, and I noticed I got my Red Sox shirt on, just in sort of anticipating that good weather is coming and the baseball season is around the corner. So hopefully we'll see that, and hopefully those games will resume soon as the COVID-19 situation eventually will dissipate. Other points from the governor's 327 update include the COVID-19 stimulus package had passed. residents for resource for residents who experience a job loss or job or loss of income is causing COVID-19 is causing broad disruption in the economy, which is affecting incomes of many residents and families. There are a number of safe state resources and supports available. You might want to go to the mass.gov page, and they will try and provide you as much information on what that is going to look like over the next several weeks. There are over 29,000 tests have been issued have been conducted by the state public health laboratory and private testing companies. Significant increase that reflects a large number of the part on the part of the state and private entities increasing the testing. Beginning March 27th, yesterday, the governor has instructed all travelers arriving to Massachusetts to self-quarantine for 14 days. So anyone coming from, say, particularly the areas of concern on New York, New Jersey, areas that are being hardest hit right now on the East Coast, and so anyone who's arriving here in Massachusetts and to Rhode Island and Connecticut, other neighboring states, the governors are actually indicating that those arriving into the state should actually should quarantine for 14 days, so that we don't create a seeding effect from the areas that are hardest hit right now, those being in the area of New York and New Jersey. So pay attention to that. I'm also hearing this earlier today that the president is looking at trying to limit travel between New York and New Jersey because of the fact there are so many cases in the New York area, that they're trying to limit folks from leaving the state and creating a situation that's impacting other parts of the country, because people want to try and get out of the city due to the large amount of cases that are occurring there. So there is assistance for small businesses and through the SBA Disaster Assistance website. So anybody who's looking for help on that. Also, I see that the Chambers of Commerce are trying to participate and help out in that situation. So if you have any questions that you can't get answered on the SBA website, folks at the Chamber of Commerce can help the small businesses with that kind of information and direct you in the right direction. So pay attention to that and take a look and contact the local chambers if they can try and provide some assistance to you on that level. The Massachusetts filing deadline for taxes has been extended to July 15th to coincide with the revised federal guidelines and some of the other New England states that have followed suit on that as well. The Attorney General has approved two additional consumer protection regulations. One prohibits the creditors from engaging in methods of debt collection that can require people to leave their homes or have in-person contact, including filing new lawsuits against Massachusetts consumers, visiting their homes or places of work, or repossessing their cars, among other protections. There's other protections is prohibiting price gouging of goods and services necessary for public health and safety during a declared statewide national emergency. Previously, under the state's consumer protection law, the only existing regulation related to price gouging addressing the sale of gasoline and other petroleum products is now extended into other areas as well. So that's good news for consumers. If you start seeing prices start to tick up rather dramatically in certain things, you might be able to. You can certainly let us know in our office, at the town manager's office, or the attorney general's office, and they certainly will help you with that kind of a situation if it occurs. All right. So another thing that I just wanted to let folks know about is that today and over the past few days, there's been some concern of kids congregating in areas in and around town. So we don't necessarily object to kids being outside, but we want to be careful that they don't congregate and start breaking the 6-foot social distancing type of a rule that we're trying to create. We know that kids want to get together and do things and try and hang out together. We get that, but certainly congregating in areas in and around certain neighborhoods is not encouraged and in fact discouraged in many cases. So we want kids to be careful that we don't see groups of kids gathering in certain areas around town for two reasons. One is the fact that it does create some level of uncomfortableness for those living in that area, and also it does create a situation where you're getting too close to other kids, and certainly as we can see from the numbers we talked about earlier tonight, that no age group is actually immune from getting getting the virus. So be very mindful of that, and we hope that folks will pay attention to that. And parents, please pay close attention to that as well, and make sure you remind your kids not to be congregating in groups groups larger than 10. Certainly, smaller groups certainly would be better and more encouraged. All right. So again, the numbers in Norfolk County right now are 490 cases. So that's a significant jump. We do expect to see those numbers continue to tick up, especially over the next week, in hopes that over the next week to 10 days, we'll start to see this area start to peak in terms of number of cases, because of all the things that have been done, the social distancing, the people staying at home and limiting their activities to in and around their neighborhoods, or walking outside, or staying in the yards, working in the yards, which I know a lot of people have been doing, including myself. I did that today at my own house, just to try and get outside and enjoy the fresh air. We do encourage people to get outside and enjoy the fresh air, because that's actually a good thing in dealing with the virus itself. So we want you to stay safe, but we also want you to maintain your distances as much as possible. I want to thank you for your attention tonight. I want you to continue to stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll get through this together. For now, I'll see you next time. This is Bill Keegan, Town Manager in Foxboro. Good night.